doing? We back in the kitchen? Yes, it is. This is a day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. How y'all doing today? Well, guess what today is? We're gonna make a scrumptious summertime, sit on the back porch patio, lemon icebox pie. Y'all ready? All right, we're gonna give you the ingredients and we're gonna get started and dig in. All right, babies, here we go. But before we get started, what we're gonna do is our oven, we're gonna preheat our oven to 325. I know you said icebox pie, why you heating the oven? Well, it's a little something on top that needs a little browning before it goes in the icebox. So we're gonna do it such. We're gonna bake it at 325. So we'll go ahead and turn it on. It's on 350, so we'll just take that down a little bit. 325. There we go. And while that's preheating, we'll go into the ingredients that we're gonna be using for this delicious icebox pie. All right, so here we go, and here are some of the ingredients that we're gonna be using. 3 14-ounce cans of sweetened condensed milk, 2 cups. You can either have freshly squeezed or the bottled lemon juice. I have the bottled lemon juice today for time's sake. We need 6 large eggs, and then we're gonna have them at room temperature, and we're gonna separate them during the process. A cup of white sugar, and then a teaspoon of lemon extract, and 2 bags of vanilla wafers. So these are the ingredients that we're gonna have for our lemon icebox pie. So let's get started. So now we're going to separate our eggs. We need 6 eggs separated, so because we're gonna need the egg yolks in the first part of the recipe. So we're gonna separate the eggs. Try not to hit them too hard because they'll crack, and then you have your egg yolks and your egg whites in the same thing. You don't want that. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we're just gonna separate our egg yolk from the egg white. All right, a little more. Okay, that's one. Just place that there. I have before trying to separate eggs and ended up with my egg yolk inside my egg white because I was going too fast and tapped too hard. That's 2. My daddy used to say, baby, you got to take your time. Take your time. So that's 2. It's really just an easy process. But make sure, like I said, make sure that your eggs are room temperature. There you go. That's 3. Oh, gotta bang that one, so I gotta watch that one. If you don't, it slips out. And then you have your egg yolk in there, and then your meringue is not gonna be like it's supposed to be. So that's what we don't want to happen. There we go. There you go. You heard it flop? Means just about all of it was out. Going to be using those egg yolks pretty quickly here. Number 6. There you go. That one came out easy. A little bit more. All right. So those are your egg yolks. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place, we got 3 cans of your sweetened milk. So we're going to add those in there. Let me get my spatula. Look at that goodness in there. Let me get my spatula while you're looking at that. Ain't nothing like sweet milk, I tell you. Get all that goodness out. Waste not, want not. That's one. And it's really a simple, easy icebox pie to make. So number 2. Make sure you get all that goodness out. Of course, you might not be able to get every nick and cranny, but I don't know. Maybe if I had my smaller spatula, I would be able to get a little bit more out, but all is well. I didn't leave too much in there. It's all good. Ooh, child, that would have been something special. And the last one. All right. That's what we put in first. On to our next ingredient, which probably is our eggs. So we're gonna put our eggs in, and then we're gonna whisk it together. Have your eggs. Not the egg whites, honey. Look at me about to mess that thing up. You're like, So now we have our eggs and our sweet milk, sweet condensed milk. Okay, on to the next ingredient. Okay, now we're gonna add a ½ cup. We're gonna do a ½ cup at a time until we get it mixed in and until it's thick. So we're gonna put like a ½ cup of lemon juice in our already, with our sweet milk and our eggs. All right, and then we just start. Now, depending on how tart or how sweet you want your cream pie, that's how much lemon juice you do it. I usually do probably a cup and a half. You can use up to 2 cups, but that's, like I said, it's up to you. We're gonna get this mixed in. It's getting. You really don't need to just the whisk. It's fine. You don't really need to use your mix. Not if you want to, if that's what you prefer, but it doesn't take long to mix it with your whisk. Okay. Put the other half in there. And so I am going to put like another half in here. Like I said, you can use up to 2 cups of the lemon juice or 2 cups of freshly squeezed lemons. But you just want to make sure everything's incorporated in here. Now this will bend your biceps, baby, because you got to do some whisking on it. That's a bunch of goodness right there. You can just, ooh, wish I had smell-o-vision, baby, because it already smells good. And I think I'm gonna put another half of your lemon juice in there. So this one I'm gonna use a cup and a half. So I already used the cup. Put another half. Because when we're gonna also put our lemon extract in there, so that will give it more of a lemony taste as well. So put this other half in here, put all the time. That's a little one, so we're just gonna keep on till it starts getting just a little. So everything's in there. And so now I'm going to place also in here a half a teaspoon of the lemon extract. And just mix it in there as well. So, like I said, I love using McCormick. I know they have others out there, but this is my go-to. So whatever you have, that's fine. So 1 teaspoon of lemon extract. Voila. Ooh, baby, you can just smell that burst of lemon. Just mix that in there. Smell like a bottle of sweet, fresh, homemade lemonade. Yes. All right. On to the next part. Okay, babies. Now that we have the filling of the pie made, as you can see, it's getting thick. See how thick that is? It's not as, see that consistency? It's getting thick. So we're gonna put this to the side. And what we're going to do next is we're gonna do our pan and get our pan ready for our crumbles, which we're gonna do at the bottom of the pan. And for this, I'll just go ahead and place my gloves on, since we are having the cookie crumbles. As if you want to go over my hand. So what we'll do now is we'll take, I have crumbled up some vanilla wafers, and that's what we're going to use for the bottom crust of our icebox pie. So you take your, and just place it in there. And just make sure that the bottom is, everything's, make sure the bottom's covered up. And I'm using a 9-inch by 13-inch by 2-inch pan. Makes a pretty good size for a nice icebox pie. Now if you wanted to use a bigger pan, just double your recipe. Where it calls for certain, just make sure you double your recipe. You'll be fine. You can put it in a bigger one, especially like if you're having a reunion or a big Sunday brunch, or people coming over and you want them done. This was just, you're like, hey, for the house. Now what we're gonna do is take our vanilla wafer. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out the box. And then just go around the sides of it. That's why I put the glass, but I don't want to just put my hands all over the cookies. And just go around the sides to make a, well, we're getting this ready. That way, once I make the meringue, and we're gonna fill it up. That way, once it banks. And then also the vanilla wafers, once it's in there and it sets, once you put the pudding in there and it's on the ice box, it'll add sweetness also to your icebox pie. And then you have that combination of sweet. I'll tell you, this is a good go-to summertime recipe where you can just, you know, summertime, you sit back in the evening times in your sunroom, on your back porch, or just wherever, and just enjoy you a nice light dessert. Get you a cup of whatever you want to drink, cup of tea. Some people like tea with their pie, some milk. I prefer water. That's just me. I'm a water person. And see, that's all we're doing for that one. until we get ready to layer it. Well, actually, what we're going to do, because I do have to make the meringue, but I can actually have it in here layered and sitting. So what we'll do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start layering. It's just like you're doing a banana pudding without the bananas. And it comes with your ingredients that we just mixed up. So what I'll do, oh, it's good, it's getting thick now. We're gonna place half of your pie filling. You put half of it in there. Make sure just, look at that goodness. Oh, it smells good, y'all. You know, we really need to look into some smell-o-vision. I am so serious, because if you can smell the lemon from this pie, it smells so good. Just to spread it out. Make sure that's covered. And it's just like layering a banana pudding, but it's so. And then too, I don't see no problem. You know me, I like experimenting. I don't see a problem if you want a lemon banana icebox pie. It's the same thing, right? Right. And so we're gonna put another layer. Spread it out. Well, that one bit the dust. You can't use that one. Like I say, it's just like you're setting up for a banana pudding. Only difference is we've made it with lemon, and it's delicious. And you made your own pudding. You didn't use the instant. There's nothing better than from scratch. Instant's okay. But when you do it from scratch, you can tell the love that was put into it. Because it's not going to take long for the meringue to put that on there. I'm going to put that, once we do the meringue, I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Just drop them in there and just cover. Make sure that layer is covered. I'll say them little crumbles that's in there. Let's put it over the top. Just kind of fill in where I see it. See how it's trying to thicken up now? Oh, that's gonna be some goodness, y'all. That's gonna be some goodness, y'all. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll put the remainder of the pudding over that, and then we'll cover that up again with just as long as it's covered. And see, I like cookies, so don't be perfect, because once it starts baking, all that will come over. I'm gonna put another layer of cookies on top. And so now what I'll do is cover that with another layer of cookies. This is why I use 2 boxes. Now I might use all of that one and I might not, it just depends. But I just want to make sure that it's totally covered. Oh, we got a double one right there, y'all. Get back toward this. Well, and all that'll be covered. Oh, that smells good. You can already smell the lemon in it, just bursting with flavor. Okay, it's up to you how many cookies, but if you like my family loves vanilla wafer, especially the grandkids. And this is a nice, just, you know, get in the kitchen, make it together. It's a family thing. Just have fun with it. I can see a banana. You can make your own pudding for banana. Icebox without using the instant. We'll go over that one day as well. See, that's been mom. She said, girl, if you don't just throw them cookies in there and spread them. That's my mom. I love her. And she know how to make a banana pudding. Man, oh man, oh man. And my grandmother Johnny V wasn't too bad either. What's today? Today's the 15th. I want to just say happy heavenly birthday to my grandmother Mamie Borders. Yes. It's a happy birthday, Granny. I think that about good. You know me, like I said, I just fill in the little spots. Because they're going to soften up once you put them in the oven for that 15 minutes. I'm like, well, why not? And the rest of them, you know, you might still have a little honey. That's for lunch tomorrow. You got me a little snack for lunch. Don't tell nobody. I'm supposed to be on the diet, but don't y'all tell nobody. I ain't on the diet. I'm just eating healthy. I'm on a seafood diet. I see what I like, I eat it. All right, next on to the next step. Isn't that beautiful? Now we're gonna make our meringue, and I'll show you how that's gonna take place. Voila. Okay, now we're gonna set this aside, and then we're gonna make the meringue for the top. So, for my meringue, you know we did the 6 egg whites earlier. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my meringue. Y'all remember what I told you about the egg whites? Oh, that's so, the eggshells. Keep them and put them in some water and let it sit. Pour the water over your plants, and your plants are so beautiful. So now what we're gonna do is our egg whites. And here's our 6 egg whites that we had. I'll just pour them in the bowl. And go ahead and assemble. Don't act long, don't you do it. There we go. Well, probably if you gotta line it up, it'll probably come out right, huh? There we go. And so we have our 6 eggs white, and I'm just gonna put a little sugar in at a time. Also, what I use for my egg whites is a cream of tartar. That kind of makes it like your meringue when it's there, kind of stays together, and then kind of makes it peak a little higher. So I use that. We're going to be using 1 teaspoon of our cream of tartar. So I already have the egg whites in there. Just put a little sugar in here for right now, just a little bit at a time. And we're going to whisk it on high. stop and put my teaspoon of that in there, and then I'll put a little more sugar, and we'll just keep working from there. This is some good stuff, y'all. Oh, you can just, oh, that pie smelling good. Okay, that's my cream of tartar. Put a little bit more sugar in it. And then we're gonna keep on. Unless you want it real sweet, that's up to you, but with the cream of tartar, as you can see, it's starting to foam. Doing maybe a chocolate pie or whatever calls for meringue. It doesn't have to be just flamboyant meringue on it, just enough to cover the top of your pie. But as you can see, it's starting to get a little thicker. let me grab my spatula. See, it's getting thicker. See that? Oh, it. Just a little bit more, and then we'll be able to spread it on top of that. Like I said, it doesn't need to be peaked real high for this because it's going in the icebox. We just needed enough in there so to have a meringue, and also so when we brown it in the oven. So now what we'll do, get out. Just want enough in here so we can, we're gonna spread it over the top of our cookies and our pudding. Make sure all of it's in there. Look at that goodness, y'all. Oh, you want to come on up. Honey, you about to get back over there in that. And just try to spread it to your corner. All covered. See, that one's trying to stick up. That's all right. It's covered. I don't know what it is, but I just like I'm painting. Just want to make it pretty. All right. And then the next thing that we'll do, we've already preheated the oven. And babies, we're going to put this baby in the oven for about 15 minutes or until this kind of browns a little bit on the top. Then we're gonna set it out for about 15-20 minutes, and baby, it's going to the ice box. And there you'll let it sit probably about an hour if you want to. 45 minutes you can do, but I usually let it sit about an hour, hour and a half to make sure that the pudding's in there and it's settled. And so now let's put this baby in the oven. All right?
Good.
All right. That's a bunch of goodness there. We'll place this in the oven. Like I said, this get brown for a little bit. At 350. Place it in the center. And baby, we're gonna have us an icebox pie. Like I said, it's just to brown the top and make sure the meringue is kind of brown, and set it out. We're gonna put it over here, let it cool for about 20 minutes. Put it in that icebox. And yeah, we're gonna have us an icebox pie. All right, babies. So, babies, that was our delicious, scrumptious, lemony icebox pie. It's gonna be delicious. You're gonna love it. Try it. I want you to try it. I want you to try it and then come back to the page and say, yeah, it worked for me too. Because I know it will. You know why? Because you got to be kind to people. Give some away. Give some away. Just bless somebody with a slice of, not a slice, but a scoop. Ooh, can get a scoop of lemon icebox pie. You got to be kind. You know why? Because it's the thought that counts. And if you want to know more about what we're doing in the kitchen, meet me in the kitchen. I have several avenues that you can come to, which will be listed in the script below. You can meet me in the kitchen, or you can, it's the thought that counts, which is on our Facebook page. I have a Twitter page. I got a Twitter, y'all. I'm tweeting, y'all. I got a Twitter and a YouTube. So come on back. After this one's done, we're going to find something else to meet us in the kitchen with, all right? Love you, babies.